Hi guys, welcome to another video explaining a new state. And in this video, I hope to explain a state that is very dear to me. I have family members that live in this state. I've been there several times, and I can speak very honestly and openly and highly about this state. I hope my personal experience doesn't get in the way, doesn't interfere with maybe a bias towards the state. But honestly, there's not that many things that I can say negative about the state of Colorado. So let's check it out. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is the educational system in Colorado. Colorado has a very good and unique educational system that composes maybe a myriad of maybe three different options. You have the state system with the universities of Colorado, for example, UC Denver or UC Boulder. You also have public or private schools such as Regis University or the School of Mines, for example, or even a group of colleges to attend first before transferring over to a four-year university. And now, it doesn't necessarily matter where you go, you always have very specific programs to choose from an ample selection, and they're all going to have their specializations. Every university is going to be unique in some way, and I think that really makes Colorado in general very special, because you can study pretty much anything you want to study at a very high level of prestige. For example, the School of Mines is very well known for their engineering programs. The University of Colorado Boulder has very good business programs, entrepreneurship programs. Startup mentality is very prominent in that city of Boulder. The University of Denver, for example, has an amazing MBA program, great environmentalist programs. They have great nursing education or even medical programs as well, as does the University of Colorado Denver, with another strong suit of engineering programs or science related programs as well. You also have physical therapy programs in Western College of Colorado, for example, where they have very special and very unique studies, areas of research, because of the altitude that they're at. So it doesn't matter what you want to study, from astronomy, astrology, environmental studies, business, engineering, any science related programs, or even medicine, you're going to find one place or another that not only offers that program, but they offer at a very high level of quality. So education-wise, I would say Colorado is a very good option to consider your international studies in. Now, point number two, I would like to talk about the cost of living in Colorado. And I would have to say that that's one maybe cautious aspect to look out for in Colorado. They do have maybe a higher cost of life, especially these last maybe 10 years or so. There's been a big exodus of California to neighboring states where tech startups above all have been setting up shop in these different states. You've seen a great example in the state of Texas, other states such as Arizona or New Mexico, and you guessed it right, Colorado is also a home of these tech companies. So we have seen a very big exodus of people as well moving into the state of Colorado, raising the cost of life ever so slightly, but constantly over perhaps the last decade. So the cost of housing has been going up. The taxes have been going up as well, but so has the minimum wage, for example. It's a very liberal mentality in the state of Colorado, so they have tried to implement different ways of reducing the cost of life in different aspects, but overall tendencies have been a slight increase year after year. So please be aware of your budget, not necessarily for the tuition costs. Tuition costs have stayed relatively stable over the last decade, but you will probably see an increase in your everyday costs or even rent if you do decide to study long term, for example, an undergraduate or graduate program. Aspect number three, I would like to talk about the activities as a student, as an international student in Colorado. Now, I'd have to say you have pretty much endless opportunities year round to enjoy the outdoors, enjoy life, enjoy very different aspects of a city environment, for example. Think of it this way. Denver is in the middle of a mountain range. You're in the middle of the Rockies. You have ski resorts. You have whitewater rafting. You have hiking, camping, fly fishing, or fishing year round. And given that it snows so often, it's hard to believe that Denver is actually the biking capital of the United States. And that's right. It's actually a very outdoorsy city. People love to spend time outdoors. And even though it might snow on a regular basis in the state of Colorado, and specifically in the area of Denver, you have very changeant temperatures. One day it might be snowing, and 2 days after that, you're in a t-shirt walking the streets or enjoying the sun or even bathing in a river. So you do have a very good contrast of weather year round. It doesn't matter, what type of season you're in, you're always going to get a good mix. So that makes, I think, Denver a wonderful place for specifically people that love to do outdoor activities, regardless of what activity that might be. But if you're more of a person that just likes activities that are maybe indoors or around cuisine, eating out, shows, spectacles, concerts, that type of things, you're also going to find them in the state of Colorado. For example, Red Rocks is a big concert hall outdoors where maybe the biggest names in the music industry have all played, because playing at Red Rocks is not just a great place to play your instrument, your songs, or enjoy a great concert, but it's an honor to be invited to Red Rocks. So the biggest names in the music industry have pretty much all played at Red Rocks, and that's just outside the city of Denver. You also have amazing cuisine. As I mentioned before, it's a very liberal state and area and county if you look at just Denver specifically. So you have a lot of influence from Europe. You have a lot of influence from international people that have migrated and set up shop in Denver. So you get a great culture of different places to visit, different markets, different shops. You have great breweries, for example, local breweries. You have a lot of different international cuisine that you can enjoy. So overall, you're always going to be surrounded by an international mentality, but also with a great, almost like a hometown feel in the city of Denver, because it's not too big and it's not small as a city. Now the last point number 4, I would just like to draw your attention to maybe the job market. What does your prospect career look like if you decided to study in Denver? And to be honest, Colorado is an amazing state to stay in once you finish your studies. Graduates coming from any university in the state of Colorado are actually sought after once they complete their degree by companies in the state limits, but also from neighboring states or California. So the educational system is so well regarded that you're pretty much going to find a job upon completion, which is great. Not only that, but the state unemployment rate has always been remarkably stable and low. So you're not going to have big issues with that. And as mentioned, the salary, the minimum wage, and the salary brackets that you find in Colorado are definitely a good reason to decide to stay in this state. So overall, if you're thinking of a place where you're going to get a great mix of people, international people, not only there to study, but to live and find a comfortable life, plus a renowned educational system for a very, very moderate and I guess well-rounded cost of attendance, cost of life, cost of that expenditure, then Colorado is a magnificent place to just sit down and enjoy. So please look up Colorado, look up any possible university, any possible degree, because as I mentioned before, and that's a final point that I'll make, you're going to find the program for you regardless of what that is. Whether it's super specialized or very technical, they have it. Whether it's broad and you want to maybe look into PhD programs upon completion, or MBA or master's programs upon completion, you're also going to find it. So Colorado, like I said at the beginning, very well-rounded and definitely a state to consider for your international studies. Epro 360 is an agency that is founded on the idea of helping international students make it in the US and find any possible way to make that happen. If that's something that you need, if you need help and guidance on how to get to the US and pursue that international education that you've longed for and dreamed about so long, then please read the description below. You're going to find a link to a free consultation with an Epro 360 expert on how to make this journey a reality. Last but not least, if you've liked the content, please smash that like button and hit the subscribe button as well if you want to get notified of all the future content and material that we're going to be publishing over the next few months. Thank you very much for watching, and see you guys next time.